In today's video, I'm going to show you the process I use to make prototypes, models of things I plan to build. Today, I'm doing a mock-up of a TIG welding cart for my TIG welder. So why in the world would I go through all the trouble of making a cardboard model? Why not just go right to cutting and welding the steel to make the welding cart? Because I'm not sure if I'm going to like the design I drew up. Designing something on paper or in a CAD package like Fusion 360 can give you a glimpse of what the project is going to look like, but it doesn't tell you the whole story. There's nothing like having something in front of you that you can see and touch. Just a quick example. Have you ever seen something in an ad, then you go to the store to see the actual item, and it turns out to be much smaller or bigger than it looked in the ad? Remember how deflated you felt when you realized it wasn't going to work? Now imagine how you'd feel if you made that item yourself and put all of your time and effort into it, not to mention the expense of the materials. How frustrated would you feel knowing you had to do it all over again? And this is why model building is part of my design process. Now what I'm doing here is I'm making some spacers that are going to go between the top and bottom plate. Keep them about 3 inches apart. And this next part here is it's going to serve two purposes. Part of it's decoration, and part of it is going to be so that it'll add some more stability to the cart. It's kind of a little rocket ship looking fin that goes on there. And then I assemble the top and bottom piece and glue those together. And this cart will have two shelves, one top and one on the bottom. I'm doing the bottom shelf here. It really helps to use one of these fabric tape measures to measure these irregular shapes. And I'm going to be using a carpenter's square and a straight edge to make sure I get this nice 3 inches straight. And yes, I am going to actually attach wheels to this model. I want to see exactly what it's going to do. And here is that rocket fin looking part. This is what the wheels will actually be welded to. It'll give it a little bit more stability, so when I'm grabbing hold of the cart and pulling it around, it won't tip over so easy. And here are those strips that I cut out earlier. When I built the cart for real, this will be 18 gauge steel I'll be attaching to it. Lots of glue and lots of tape to hold this thing together. I left it sit overnight, and then I can take the tape off and see what this thing looks like. The front face of this thing will be made out of 11 gauge steel, and the sides here will be made out of 18 gauge steel. And that's why I like modeling things like this, because I made the shelves a little bit big, and I made them a little bit too big. So now I gotta cut this thing apart and redo some stuff. And here I'm shaping the bottom shelf, back of the bottom shelf, to make a place for the argon tank to go. And this rolled up piece of cardboard is the exact same diameter as the argon tank will be. What I'm doing here is making the gussets. Those gussets are going to help hold up the tank so that the shelf doesn't sag when I put the tank on. And you can see these are attached between the frame and the shelf. And this cart is also going to have a drawer here, but the drawer is an inch too deep. It's going to hit the top of the cooler, so I've got to take and strip an inch off. And the only thing I have left to do is attach the wheels. And here is the final product, and I don't really like it all that much. I don't like how the frame is round on top. I'm going to have to change that to a different shape. But you can see the tank and everything fits on there nicely. And if I were to have skipped this model building process and went right to just building it out of steel, it would have been a very expensive and time-consuming process. So that's why I make models first. Thank you so much for watching this video. If this was any interest to you at all, please hit the thumbs up. And I'll see you next time.